Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. And big news just dropped. News that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. At least I see it online. People have been complaining a lot. People have been saying, oh yeah, fix this, fix that. Well, your prayers have been answered. Because on Twitter, Clash Royale just released this. Now, take everything what you see on screen and what I say in this video with a little pinch of salt, because this is a work in progress patch. However, there are some stuff in here that you can pretty much reliably count on are gonna definitely be in the game. You know, I like, take it from me, I've been playing this game for like 7 years. I can see this coming. So we're gonna be going over some of them, mainly of course the Rune Giant and the Royal Chef nerfs. A lot of nerfs, not too many buffs in this one, so it's not quite as fun, not quite as a fun one, but you know what I mean. If they need to get nerfed, they need to get nerfed. I'm not sure about some of these other ones up here, but we'll talk about all of that in this video. But first of all, let me just give you the synopsis of Rune Giant if you don't know what's going on. Rune Giant, currently in the game, Rune Giant is broken when used with Firecracker or Hunter because they shoot multiple projectiles, and obviously Rune Giant gives a buff on every third hit, and on Firecracker and Hunter, it gives the buff on all of the projectiles. So Hunter shoots like a shotgun blast of like 20 projectiles, they all get a massive damage increase, and you can just one shot like a pecker. It's absolutely ridiculous. And me, low-key, I love it. I got a content brain. I see that and I'm like, yes, this is amazing. But also very frustrating if you want a game that's like actually, you know, fun competitively. So this was obviously going to be a nerf that happens, and what they've done is they've said if an attack has multiple projectiles, bonus damage will be divided among them. And so basically what that's going to mean is, rather than Hunter shooting 20 projectiles, they all get the maximum bonus. It's just going to be one spread over all of them, which essentially makes Firecracker and Hunter now the worst cards to combo with Rune Giant, because you're never going to get the full effect pretty much unless every projectile hits something, which doesn't happen that often. So they've gone from being definitely the best to now definitely the worst. And then we've also got secondary troops, so like the goblins on the back of Goblin Giant and the things that the Ram Rider throws, they now no longer get the buff also, which I think was, I don't know, maybe a bit overkill. I really want to know how the rockets on the back of Goblinstein work. I'm still not sure, but I imagine they still get the buff, because that's not a secondary troop, that is just the Goblin, not Goblinstein, Goblin Machine. That is just his attack, so I imagine that still gets it. But yeah, Goblin Giant and now Ram Rider also aren't going to be quite as good, which I don't know, I don't think that was necessary, to be honest. I don't think they were like, that was like a stupid broken combo anyway. I haven't even seen like anyone do that. And then on top of that, we've also got Goblin Giant nerfs in there as well, so it's a whole thing. Goblin Giant's getting destroyed. But yeah, no, we knew this nerf was coming. Come on now, like, I see people hating on it and just like clips of Firecracker or Hunter just destroying a tower from like 6 miles away. So yeah, that's valid. And the other one that you can pretty much count on, I don't want to talk too much about the actual stats here, because obviously again this is a work in progress patch, but Royal Chef is going to get nerfed. It's going to happen. Like, I've been saying this since day one of his release. He is crazy. Like, again, like all of them other than Princess Tower, he's like better in some decks than others. So like you wouldn't really necessarily want to use this in like a log bait style deck, or maybe like not in like a Hog 2.6 or some cycle deck. But in a deck where you've got like any like heavy hitters, like, I don't know, like a P.E.K.K.A or a Mega Knight, it's crazy. It is so good. And I still think it's probably going to be really good after the nerf, but like, to be honest, I just knew they were going to nerf this card. They were bound to nerf this card. It's so good getting like a level 18 Mega Knight down, and it just destroys everything. Or my personal favourite, Evo P.E.K.K.A, which then also heals, so it stays alive for even longer and gets leveled up even more and does even more damage and is even harder to kill. I've been spamming out Royal Chef in like all of my decks, but I like the big heavy hitting cards, so I'm a little upset, but I'm not surprised at all by the fact they've nerfed it. And so yeah, basically they've got hit speed, hit time, max cook frequency, HP buff, everything, like so many things are getting nerfed. But again, I don't want to get too much into the details, because like I said, this is a work in progress, and I'll probably do an update video when like the actual patch releases, and I imagine there'll be some more things going on here. But those two are basically the things that I think are pretty much certified going to happen. The Rune Giant nerf is almost a guarantee. They're not going to keep that projectile buff thing in the game. They're just not going to do that. And yeah, like I said, Royal Chef I think is pretty busted. They're going to nerf it in some way. Might not be exactly what you see on screen right now, but they're going to nerf it in some way. But now let's have a look at the rest of the stuff here, because although, like, you know, like I said, work in progress, we might not see some of this stuff. Some of this stuff's quite interesting. We've got another Goblinstein nerf, another HP nerf. He's just going down and down. Like, he was kind of broken on release, and now they're just slowly chipping away until he's going to become like, I don't know, just like a gimmick card, I think, which is good. I don't really like playing against that card, to be honest. And then I want to quickly touch on Lava Hound as well. Like, Lava Hound nerf is ridiculous. There's no way this makes it into the game. And I think if we look at, like, this is on Twitter, I'm looking at it, and there were people replying being like, what? Lava Hound nerf? Like, you, like, never see Lava Hound, and, like, other than like lava loon decks that are like always going to be meta. Like it's just such a weird thing. Like I would never think to nerf Lava-Hound or buff it. Like I would just never think to touch it. And then yeah, we've got also a Dark Goblin nerf here. I think maybe that's partly because we've got Evo Dark Goblin in the game, so more people are using Dark Goblin, and like the fact that the Evo's there kind of makes the whole card better. But also I just think that Dark Goblin's always, or like for a very long time, been a really strong 3 elixir card. So, and it's only hit points minus 5%. That probably just means that like I bet there's some niche interaction that affects, like I don't know, like Evo Ice Spirit now kills it, you know what I mean? Like something like that, some niche ass effect, like, or maybe a zap kills it in one, you know, something like that. I don't know, like surely not a zap killing it in one, but I don't know, like something, there's gonna be some niche thing, like 5%, like that's so specific. There's just gonna be some little interactions where your goblin, Dark Goblin dies rather than living. So it's a minor nerf, but I think maybe that will catch some people off guard. Like it might be like not as minor as it looks. And yeah, what else we got? We got a Goblin Giant, less spawn rate on the goblins, and again, this is another card that I just think it's underrated. I've made a few videos on my channel about Goblin Giant and just like using it with like Rage and like Goblin Curse and like all this other like cool stuff, Freeze, and it's just like you can just destroy tags. I think it's one of the most fun cards, but like I'm not too surprised at this nerf. But again, might not even end up in the game, and I might be able to spam out more Goblin Giant content in the future, so who knows. And then we've got a few little buffs down here just that I'm going to touch on real quick. We've got the range on the Fire Spirit being increased. I guess that's his jump range rather than like the actual splash damage area of effect. Yeah, I think that's valid. Like again, a weird little buff to think of. Like I wouldn't have thought of touching that, but again, also I do think Fire Spirit is definitely the weakest spirit, so maybe like just bringing it kind of back in. And so like if you're going to put like cycle card, that spirit cycle card into your deck, like it's not definitely going to be E-Spirit or Ice Spirit. Like maybe people will consider Fire Spirit now. And then I've got a little Musketeer buff here, the first hit time, so it's just going to shoot a little bit quicker after you put it down. They did this same thing with the Hunter in the last patch, or maybe the patch before now, I can't remember, but like they did the same thing here. Like, and I think that's just a valid buff. Like, you know, just a tiny little buff, but like nothing crazy. Like 25% though is quite a lot from 0.8 to 0.6, but it's only like the first hit. It's not going to be doing more damage per se. It just starts doing damage a little bit quicker. It's just gonna be a little life, like quality of life almost for the people that use Musketeer. And then we've got Evolved Snowball with a buff. It rolls a little bit further now. I have literally never seen a single person use Evolved Snowball. So, but then again, before it was even Evo, I never saw anyone use Snowball. So I don't know what's going on here. Perhaps like they're just thinking like, oh, maybe we've got to do a little something to it. I don't think this is going to be enough. I still think I'm never going to see Evolved Snowball. Like it's a weird card to give an evolution. Like people aren't going to choose that over some of the other broken evolutions, you know, like I think having a spell as an evolution is like almost like you don't see much Evo Zap anymore, you know, because there's always just like a troop that you want in there more so, particularly at like, I don't know, at like mid ladder when like you've got people using like Evo Mega Knight and stuff like, and also just Snowball, I don't know, just like nobody really uses it. Like it's going to be a weird card for them to balance because I don't think there's enough like people using it to know, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And also, as I said, as I will keep saying in this video, this is work in progress, so it might not even make it into the game, or maybe they'll make it into the game but in a different form. But as I said, the things you can count on from this screen you're looking at right now is the Rune Giant nerf is I would say guaranteed to get into the game. And some form of Royal Chef nerf, again, maybe not exactly what you see on screen, but some form of Royal Chef nerf, again, also guaranteed to get into the game. But other than that, you can take it with a pinch of salt, I reckon. Although again, on the other side of the coin, they release these for a reason, you know, they're not just going to release them and then completely change them around for when the actual patch comes on, but it will be different, and I will of course be providing an update on that. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff helps me out a bunch. Almost at 1,000, so come on, man. 98% of my viewers don't subscribe. How depressing is that? Get involved. Come on, boys. Come on. But that's enough shilling from me, and I will see you in the next one.